nggak mungkin hanya tiba-tiba ngomong bahwa ini key storage-nya, lalu ke ujuk-ujuk gitu ya, dari mana data itu derive atau drone dari mana. Nah, saya kira nanti Mas Kal juga harus melakukan hal yang sama. Dan yang lebih penting ketika menceritakan prosesnya, if we are looking at this example, kan ini konteks pasti di-establish ya. Pertama kita udah lihat urgency dan isunya. Dan di sini ketika menjelaskan konteks itu ya betul-betul dijelaskan. Misalnya in Indonesian universities. Are you talking about universities, Mas Haikal, or secondary school?
Senior junior high school, ma'am.
Ya, so in secondary schools ya.
Ya.
So level secondary schools itu the role of vocabulary itu bagaimana? Kan konteks itu seringnya pada dihilangkan. Nah, kenapa kemudian word wall itu menjadi penting misalnya? Apakah karena memang the needs ya for having tadi some game activity in the class? So what requires you to use word wall? Or is it your innovation? Is it your initiative, yeah, or is it maybe actually regulated, yeah? So a context that people want to understand, to appreciate that maybe it is your teacher, how do you say it? Is your teacher agenda that led you to use the word wall is not regulated, so you are finding a way to help students. Nah, that's a context readers want to see and then later be able to appreciate, yeah, for what you've done. Tapi kemudian yang mau saya tekankan adalah the activities that you actually did. Yeah, so for example, there is one paragraph here that that details the activities or the authors did, yeah, with YouTube, with Facebook. So starting from this one, yeah, Rex. So, yeah, we for this article we sampled one class, our student participating, informed consent form, and then so on and so on and so on. So in this case, the author doesn't say what research design, yeah, they did, yeah, but they simply decided to do a particular intervention using Facebook, and they decided to do it, and then they recorded or they observed and then making notes. So they just have to tell, they however told you the details of how the activities were done. So for example here you can read, yeah, that recorded speaking tasks done individually or collaboratively. So what it is actually the activity. So it's the same as Bamboozle. So what is it in Bamboozle? What activity in Bamboozle that the students actually did to help them improve their confidence or their willingness to speak or to communicate? So I think this is important to name, yeah, and then to highlight. So your walnut, your with wall.net activity, will this be only about the use of word walnut? It's actually a series or a combination or a set of activities, yeah, from some instructions or explanation that you gave in addition to the activity or engagement in the game. Nah, jadi harusnya dijelaskan ya. Ini kan kalau dibaca ini, nah, so what before doing a series of PA tasks, we also have the students to comment on their peer speaking performance. So tidak ujuk-ujuk gitu loh ya pakai Facebook, si authorsnya itu melakukan scaffolding, memberikan scaffolding. Jadi ada classroom instructionnya dulu gitu loh. Jadi jangan dikira sebuah kesuksesan karena sebuah inovasi menggunakan apapun itu dari game, dari media itu berhasil hanya karena si guru tiba-tiba ya udah datang ke kelas ngasih Facebook lalu tiba-tiba itu tidak mungkin. Pasti ada activitiesnya yang scaffold students, that prepare students to engage in the activity, the game, with the media you have planned. Jadi that's what, itu yang namanya pedagogical. Ya, itu yang namanya instruction. Instruction itu kan mungkin outcome-nya itu diukur dari dampak penggunaan Facebooknya. Tapi sebetulnya in order that the students can engage in feedback, sudah ada upaya dari guru. Misalnya harus dijelaskan dulu, familiarize with 4 areas of speaking, assessment, ada apa-apa ini. Kalau enggak nanti komentarnya jadi tidak mengarah ya pada doing peer speaking performance. Nah, itu tadi yang perlu ditekankan. Dan mungkin Mas, kalau secara khusus Mas Haikal itu menurut saya terlalu panjang, to be honest. Ya, mana Mas Haikal punya? Panjang sekali Mas, your writing for intro doang ya. For intro doang ini kan intro saja kan ya Mas. Jadi purpose-nya tuh jauh di bawah sini Mas Haikal. Terus sampai sini itu too long Mas Haikal. So I don't know whether you have had some target in your head, but to me it's too long. So saya belum bisa melihat ya dari segi word wall itu di bagian mananya word wall itu bisa membantu. eh Apakah di gamenya atau di kuisnya itu yang saya sebenarnya ingin tanyakan ya. Jadi when you are using this, in which feature of this word wall activity that will help students' vocabulary development? So I think reading this, oh sorry, reading this, can you see Haikal's paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So reading this, so I'm trying to find, do you justru perginya developing ideas-nya justru going away from the focus ya. Lalu tiba-tiba talking about digital technology. To me, if you talked about digital technology, you should do it earlier. You should earlier. Ya. Kalau di sini kan Mas berangkatnya dari vocabulary-nya ya. Padahal
Yes,
tadi
ma'am.
you are highlighting word wall-nya. To me, your focus is why word wall. If you know that word wall is part of game, but for example, if this is a learning, it's not a platform, so it's a game, so it's media to me. It's a media, digital media. So if you are saying about multimodal, that's okay. Whatever areas of research you want to start with as your ends ya to the paper. Jadi mau mengintroduce-nya sebagai apa? Sebagai digital medianya atau sebagai multimodalnya. It's up to you. But I think this one, gamified and mobile assisted. Yeah, I think that's quite special, and you can start with that. Yeah, and this word wall can also be used in mobile device, right, Mas?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's what makes it accessible to students, right? When they are at school, they can play using their cell phone, yes? And that's what you did actually. You allowed them to use it on their phone. Can you
Uh,
ask them to do so?
Actually, the students is not allowed to bring the phone, so the teacher use uh,
Uh,
apa sih namanya, ma'am?
LCD.
LCD itu, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So they are engaging with the media classically on your lead. So they don't engage individual personally, but they are working as a group begitu ya, doing
Yes,
the
ma'am.
quizzes on the slide ya, on screen. So I think that's still okay. But so the highlight here is the game. Yeah, it is a game, it's media. It can be multimodal in ways. So it's up to you what you want to highlight and what aspects of what wall. So di sini you have, nah, this is to my view, this should come first. Paragraf ini should come first. You should actually start saying directly about the word wall and nothing else. Yeah, so word wall is what? It's a technological innovations you can you can maybe change this more specifically ya, tidak technological innovation, tapi tadi pakai istilah ini misalnya gamified mobile application misalnya ya. I'm not very sure what's the best way to say because you could always label ya one thing with so many things. So like, is it a platform? Do you think it's a platform?
I'm not
Is
sure,
it?
ma'am.
Yeah, so that's what I think you need to check. Yeah. Is it a platform? Is it a media? Is it what? Yeah. So naming it in the first place is very important to be correct and precise. And then you should directly say, yeah. If you want opening statement that may be quite general, you can use this one, for example. This is a good opening if you want this one. And then in this sentence, yeah, on furthermore, you can directly add this one. So that's what I would do. I don't want to wait until the end to introduce the variables in my title of article. So I would say one example of what do you call this one before? Digital tools, ya, multimedia. Ini cuma berarti ya, karena platform media multimedia itu different ya to my view ya. Kalau platform itu berbeda dengan sekedar aplikasi to my view. Jadi for naming something like this, maybe learn from the key experts-nya, jangan the experts yang menggunakan. Jadi kalau author itu kan ada author yang dia mengestablish konsepnya. Jadi dia seperti simbahnya konsep itu. Ownernya yang coins, establish, introduce. Tapi ada expert yang kemudian menggunakan konsep ini dalam implementasi, dalam praktisnya. Lalu dipublish juga. Nah, kalau istilah you have to go for this author, ya, who coins the terms or the registers. So I want you to perhaps check that one. So this one is something like this. Then you go on with choosing a wood wall has been widely used because apa ya? Because its feature which is dynamic, context rich, misalnya seperti itu ya. That's what I would do, being very direct, yeah. And do you have to use woodwall.net seperti itu? Ataukah woodwall saja? Yeah.
Worldwall.in because it is like a website, ma'am.
Okay.
So because why I use the term platform because it
A
like
website.
a
Can
website,
you
not a
you
application.
can you have a conversations in the website? Can you have communication?
It's like teacher made a room and the room is designed by teacher. What kind of words, what vocabulary that I want to teach to the students, like daily activities or family, like each other. So in that room, the teacher will make some. Yeah, there are many features that teacher can use in the WordPress.
I see. Yes, okay. So if it is a platform, then you can maybe explain here. So you can add here. Yeah. So the benefits. So you need to say the benefits, yeah. So like this, these are the features that will help students learn vocabulary. So in your case, when students develop their vocabulary due to WordWallNet, do you think which features help the most? Do you have any answers?
I think feature kayak nebak itu, mem. Nebak gambar sama mencocokkan gitu loh, mem.
I see. Nah, yang seperti itu mungkin harus dijelaskan nanti.
Nih.
Ya, tapi ini if we are reading this paragraph, ada benefits yang particularly directed on the features, ada yang sifatnya klise ya, maksudnya hal-hal yang umum ya, making
Mm.
it kalimat-kalimatnya kan ini bisa allowing students to grasp the material online and offline. Itu maksudnya gimana? Maksudnya kan itu bisa diakses online and offline ya, lalu ada
Yeah.
interactive game. So I think you want to organize ya what features does help student to develop their vocabulary and how the features did so. Itu intinya ketika menjelaskan activity-nya seperti yang di Facebook tadi ya, yang ini tadi activities-nya. Oh, why I come back to this? Oh, ini dia. Oh, jadinya tidak nampak. I have to stop sharing. Seperti itu yang perlu dicek ya, Mas Haikal.
Yes, ma'am.
Terlalu panjang, Mas Haikal ya, intronya. Oke?
Yes.
Thank you. Who's next?
All right, ma'am. Can I
One
try,
more,
ma'am?
ma'am.
Huh? Who's speaking?
Okay, maybe Wanda first, ma'am.
No, Mas Arif, you may first.
All right. Thank you.
Alright, jadi aku yang pertama ya.
Yes,
Okay.
go on.
So,
Show your cam, Arif.
alright, ma'am. Because of the network connection, ma'am, I try to. That's why I turn off my camera, ma'am.
Yeah, but I didn't see who's speaking. Maybe you can show or your cam first,
That's right, ma'am.
and then you can turn off. Yeah.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
The text visible.
Alright, ma'am. So I would like to start my presentations about my article, ma'am. Well, the title of my article is An Innovative Reflective Best Practice Report on Microsoft 365 Sway for Reading Material in ELT at SMKN Balaniva. And now, this is the abstract. This reflective best practice study report the use of Microsoft 365 Sway to support reading and writing in grade 10 English at SMKN Negeri Balaniva. This reflective best practice study examined Microsoft 365 Sway for grade 10 English at SMKN Balaniva using a qualitative descriptive design primed by Gibbs reflective cycle 1980. The study documents planning, experience, evaluations, analysis, conclusions, and action step. Sway was embedded in a grade-based approach to reading and writing with engagement evidenced by analytic view, time on track, task, completion rates, diff rates, and the results show strong engagement, literacy gains, and higher motivations alongside challenge of uneven digital skill and unstable internet connections. And pedagogically, the practice aligned with TIFAC and advance along SAMR beyond substitutions through collaborative multimodal productions. And the reflection recommends keeping Shui to sustain engagement and autonomy while mitigating barriers where needed via offline backups, clear time or rules, and basic digital ethics guidance. And now let's take a look at the introductions. In introductions, in the first paragraph, I try to conceptualize about the importance of 21st century and Industry 4.0 about the teacher's competence becomes a key driver. So in this paragraph, I highlight several important points in which the 21st century is importantly promoted by the teachers, such as critical thinking, creativity, communications, and collaborations, because effective technology integration in LV calls for learners centered teaching that emphasize 21st century competence. And then it's also through the modern technology for English teaching, comprise creative applications of relevant method, tools, material, equipment, system, and strategy to ensure intended learning goals are achieved. So actually, in the first paragraph, I try to highlight and emphasize on how important the teacher have a good literacy on technology implementations within in the classroom because of it's related to the 21st century learning in this era. And now we are moving to the next paragraph. In this paragraph, I try to specify or specifically talk about the implementations of the ICT in EFL context because of the 21st century refers to the ICT in learning, particularly in EFL. That's why I try to talk this in the second paragraph. Because by integrating ICT, lecturer or teacher move beyond delivering content and create learning that's more democratic and challenging. When teachers hold a positive view of ICT, they tend to adopt more innovative practice and promote a productive learning atmosphere. This suggests that teacher must be able to employ ICT to design English instructions, source appropriate materials, and implement ICT-based assessment that generate positive feedback for students and for themselves. And yes, in the second paragraph, I try to highlight like on the specific the ICT implementations that teachers should do relate to ICT. And the third paragraph, I try to highlight or emphasize on the reading skill in which teaching reading to non-native English speaker presents distinct problem and challenge at every level of instructions. Yes, because traditionally, reading is a passive activity, but in fact, it should be active. And then the next is through the technology, it's offer a benefit. Its classroom use is shaped by multiple factors such as crucially effective implementations relies on institutional support and teachers. Although EFL learners are proficient in their language, they usually have a lot of problems in comprehending text. Through the advance in technology and media, electronic material have become highly significant. So actually, in this paragraph, I try to emphasize on how the teacher should create a suitable teaching material refers to the this era should be more student more actively by promoting the technology implementations in the classroom. And now we are moving to the next paragraph. In the next paragraph, I try to relate to the important tools from the Microsoft, that is Microsoft 365 Sway, which enable teacher to design multimodal interactive reading experience that scaffold comprehensions. Microsoft 365 tools Sway enable rapid creations of multimodal instructional material, for example, like providing text, media, and web embeds for sharing studies, report, and presentations with emphasis on ease of use. And then by employing Microsoft Sway as a teaching tool, facilitates a clear student comprehensions of instructional content. So in this paragraph, actually, I talk more about Microsoft 365 Sway, the features, and also the benefit that can teachers acquire and student as well. And then moving to the last paragraph, I talk about the role of me as a researcher and also as a teacher who implements the Microsoft 365, in which this study employ a best practice reflective approach to the integrations of Microsoft Sway in reading instructions. Reflective practice involves the thinking through critical classroom moments at all stages to assess instructions and use those insights to enhance later teaching. And well, the decision to adopt this platform emerged after the author participated in the Orbit Guru Merdeka professional development program for 4 months, which encouraged teachers to explore and apply new technological innovations in classroom instruction. Through this experience, the author was motivated integrating Microsoft 365 Sway as a means of enhancing the digital learning practice and promoting creative student-centered learning active. And the last paragraph, I try to explain why I use the reflective practice and also the decisions why I implement the Microsoft 365 within the classroom in EFL class. And now we are moving to the methods. This is actually the method that I use. I use the descriptive qualitative by elaborating with the theories from the theories from Gilb's reflective cycle 1980, in which have several cycle in order to identify effective strategy, challenge, and insight that can inform other education in similar contexts. And now this is actually, I also, in this part, I also explain several important things about the Gibbs reflective cycle, in which there are several cycles that I have mentioned before, in which the description stage outline how the lessons were designed and implemented, while the feeling stage capture the author's response during the teaching process. The evaluations and analysis stage focus on identifying strengths, challenges, and their underlying cause in using Sway as a learning tool. Finally, the conclusions and in actions plan stage summarize key insight and propose
Yep.
improvement for future digital integrations.
Thank you. All right, Mas. Let's stop there first, Mas Arif. Can you stop sharing?
Yeah.
Stop sharing, please. You know, I cannot open your Google Docs from Google
There
Drive.
are several things, descriptions now.
Hi, Mas. You hear me?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
kindly
ma'am.
stop sharing. Kindly stop sharing.
All right, ma'am.
Yeah, I think that will do. We are looking at the intro at the moment, but
Yes, ma'am.
I'm happy you have reached the finding as well. I just said I couldn't open the file from your Google Drive. So what I should do is to download it. So this is what I found in your downloaded paper. So you showed me the one with findings, but the one you uploaded is not with findings.
Oh, all right, ma'am. Actually, I have 3 files actually because the 2 of the 3 actually corrupt, ma'am. So I try to compare first to the PDF, ma'am. And actually the PDF the final draft, ma'am. In
Ya,
ma'am.
mungkin enggak apa-apa. Ini saya gunakan yang ada di sini dulu ya, yang sudah saya download ya.
All right,
Kalau
ma'am.
yang saya download tampak enggak?
Yes, ma'am.
Ya, ini mungkin can look at this one. Let me ask you, do you want to focus on the designing process and the materials being used in the class? So you focus on two, designing the multimodal learning using Microsoft 365 Sway, and then implementing them in the teaching? Or do you want to focus on implementation only?
Actually, ma'am, I focus actually on implementations, ma'am, based on the tools from Microsoft Sway, ma'am.
So you focus on implementation only. If you focus on implementation, so your focus is on telling how the multimodal learning materials are being used, not
Oh yeah.
on using Microsoft 365 Sway to develop the reading materials.
The proportion, ma'am, actually more on the after implementations, ma'am. So, but I actually I keep try to highlight a little bit on the design, man, but the proportion is more on the after implementations, man.
No,
The implementation.
it's not about the proportion. I just want to, do you plan to focus on two of them or on one of them? I just want to know actually what you want, because I don't find it clear in your writing. That's all. That's why I want to confirm.
Oh, all right, ma'am.
So you want
Uh,
to do two things, yeah? You
yes,
want
actually,
to, okay,
yeah, ma'am.
you want to you want to explain or to describe the design process and then the implementation processes. Yes?
Yeah, it's like a reflection, ma'am. The teacher reflections after implementing, like a challenge and the benefit that they can get, ma'am.
Yes, of course. Reflection. So you want to reflect. Okay, let me rephrase my questions. So you want to reflect on the design and the implementation process, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what you are writing is about your reflection, basically.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
reflection is on two things, design and implementation. So let me now look at your writing. I highlighted some of them, but not all of them. But I wonder, do you understand how to write in text citation? So
Uh,
highlighted here, ya. Ini belum saya selesaikan tadi ya. Ini juga sama. Do you know how to write in text citation yang ditulis first name atau last name-nya? Kapan ditulis complete last name of some authors if you have like more than one author, like here Novia, Nurdianti, Purwanto. I don't know with these numbers, do you actually copy right away dari list of, I don't know, somewhere, yeah, reference? You didn't edit it first?
yes, ma'am. I just copy
Yeah, you
from the list.
cannot do that. Yeah, you need to write down. Yeah, you need to first read how to do the citation, ya, the referencing, and then do it early ya. Karena itu menjadi salah satu alasan artikel ditolak, ya, tidak mengikuti standar kaidah penulisan yang baik, begitu ya. Jadi harus dicermati, Mas Arif ya.
Yes, ma'am.
Misalnya harusnya last name saja. For the first person, for the function, if you have more than one article, you write complete author's last name, but not full name, complete name like this. Yeah, okay, that's none.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I think if I were you, I'll remove all this first paragraph. You can later use them later, maybe, yeah, somewhere in down in maybe discussion. Maybe you can take some of this for your reference. But I think I would start directly, and I'm trying to find it somewhere here in your paragraph. Karena Bu Ella lebih suka mengambil dari ide yang sudah ada gitu ya, tidak introduce something new. But I couldn't. I think you mentioned multimodal somewhere. Ini agak mengganggu soalnya Mas Arif menulis seperti ini tuh agak mengganggu karena penulisan seperti ini tidak bisa diterima.
Yes, ma'am.
Dalam artikel ini agak mengganggu. Tapi ini saya tadi menemukan model di mana ya, multimodal ya. Nah, ini dia. Jadi jadi yang sebetulnya Mas Arif akan lakukan kan ini ya, desain ini lalu kemudian mengimplementasikan. Hanya saya tuh khawatirnya kenapa ini jauh ditemukannya di bawah sini. Nah, ini ada lagi di sini. Ya, multimodal instructional materials. Multimodal instructional materials. Ya.
Yes, ma'am.
Berarti seharusnya paragraf pertama sini ya langsung mengatakan why multimodal instructional materials. Yeah, you have to say it. I think, in my view. Imperative, misalnya seperti itu ya, in reading instructions, in EFL, misalnya in EFL reading instructions. So
Yes, ma'am.
here you can maybe introduce the challenges like you mentioned down in the paragraph. So you can come up with PISA, maybe a achievement PISA in reading or in
Yes, ma'am.
literacy, which is very low for Indonesian students. Yeah. So I don't know, it's low and how reading in English, reading skills or competence, yeah, in English is the culprit. Find the reference, yeah, to support this one.
Yes, ma'am.
And then it's not about you because you are learning Microsoft Sway in a training and then you decided to do it, to write article about it. That's not what best practice paper is about. Best practice paper is really about you exercising teacher agency. You are looking at your classroom, your students, and then you found something is wrong. What should I do? What can I do? And then you explicate what you think you can do and how you did it, and you shared with people how what you did actually contributed to changes or improvement, and that's all.
Oh,
So
yes, ma'am.
if it happens that you have the skill to use Sway, then maybe it is saying that Sway is not accessible to everyone. Only those who have the training can use Sway. Otherwise, not everyone can do Microsoft 365 Sway and using them as part of their instructional design. To me, it is a drawback. Yeah, it is a disadvantage if you are saying that only people with training can use Microsoft 365 Sway to develop reading instructional materials, then it's not good. You know, you want to share something that is accessible. Would Walnut accessible by everyone? Boomba
Yes, ma'am.
accessible by everyone. You don't need to pay, you don't need to subscribe, you don't need to install and then to buy the license to be able to use them. If you have to join a training, to buy a license, to have the device, to be able to use them, then this will not work. Ya, karena kan berarti itu
Oh, yes, ma'am.
privilege, hanya only for few people who happen
Yes, ma'am.
to have those. Now, you need to understand this paradigm. Yeah, you need to understand the mindset. The mindset. Best practice paper is about making people aware that there is a tool accessible to all and not yet maybe used to its maximum potentials. So you encourage others to use it because of the benefits that maybe the expense that teacher or anyone should make for using it. So I think this is the idea of best practice paper. So Mas Haikal, Mas Arif, if you want to
Yes, ma'am.
go with that, you start with instructional skill of teachers. Ada namanya instructional design. Instructional design itu adalah skills when teachers are designing their lesson and then developing, teaching and learning materials or teaching and learning packages, that be used for teaching. And that's part of pedagogical competence of teachers. So you can highlight how teachers often, struggle with finding out or developing multimodal. So you can start with instructional design skills of teachers. Jadi saya tuliskan di sini. So urgency. Urgency should come with number one, tadi PISA,
Yes,
reading
ma'am.
achievement is slow. Dua, the reading instructions do not prepare students for critical reading, and how materials tadi contributed to how teaching materials jadi non-multimodal teaching materials in reading contributed
Yes,
to
ma'am.
this low achievement. So teachers should develop skills in developing tadi multimodal instruction
Okay.
materials using designing or authoring tools like Microsoft 365 Sway. Why? Why is this tool recommended? That's your idea. So you describe the process of designing and implementing the multimodal learning materials to readers, hoping
Yes, ma'am.
they can imitate and find that their own find similar changes after implementing. And that's what you are doing, basically. Simple like that, straightforward, focus on the key variables, and I would suggest you are seperti ini tuh boleh dihilangin sebetulnya. A reflective practice boleh, a reflective best practice. Kan your practice not necessarily best. It's best
Yes,
to
ma'am.
it's best to you, not best to others. So mungkin tidak perlu claim it's best practice itu kan skema atau jenis papernya, tapi we can say a reflective practice on mungkin langsung tekanannya bukan ini harusnya menurut saya multimodalnya. Jadi isunya multimodal, creating multimodal reading. Excuse me. Vocational students.
Oh, yes.
On helping. To me,
Yes, ma'am.
that's my suggestion. You, mungkin ini juga tidak harus disebut sebetulnya di judul ya. Bisa nanti disebutnya di bawah. Tapi if you want to say this, because I don't want this paper to be about Microsoft 365. You want this paper to be about the national one. The
Yes,
reading
ma'am.
skills. Thank you. Thank you. Hurry
All
up.
right. Thank you so much, ma'am,
Yeah.
for the suggestion and advice for me for my article.
Yes. No worries. Mbak Wanda ya,
Yes, ma'am.
silahkan.
Okay, is my screen visible, ma'am? Okay, thank you, ma'am, for the time. There are two options of the title here. The first one is integrating Zoom and Google Classroom in English in an English course.
It's a different one ya. The paper you uploaded.
Yes, ma'am.
Loh, Yang
No,
di
ma'am.
sama.
Same file, ma'am. But I add one more title.
Oh yeah. Okay. Can you go
Then-
quickly? I'm reading it and I'm done reading it.
Okay, ma'am. Well, I'm starting my background, the background of my best practice paper with the fact that pandemic has brought the transformation in global education from traditional offline learning to fully online environment, especially in English language teaching. And also, I mentioned the challenges faced by both teachers and students, especially in adapting to new technologies and maintaining communication across virtual platforms. And then, but actually, in the case at the time is we integrate technology not to introduce the use of technology to the students so that students familiar with digital tools, but it became an essential for sustaining the learning process for an uncertain duration. And then the next paragraph, I mentioned that during that period of time, there are many platforms were employed to ensure learning process, but the most widely used platform are Zoom and Google Classroom. And I mentioned how Zoom provide particular valuable for supporting live communication like virtual meetings and online discussions between teachers and students. And then Google Classroom offer an effective platform system in managing lessons and also allowing teacher to give score to students efficiently. And then the next paragraph, I mentioned how online teaching shifting from online to offline. Then in post-pandemic classroom, like many teachers integrated this platform into regular instruction. No more about because pandemic, but in nowadays era, these two platforms, especially Zoom, still exist to be used in especially in higher education and also in English course. And then the last paragraph, I explain about the objective of this paper. This is a reflective best practice based on my experience when I taught using Zoom and Google Classroom in English course during pandemic era. And then it will highlight the strategies used to engage students and also the challenges. And then there will be also reflection on how the lesson learned remain relevant for shaping effective English language teaching in the post-pandemic era, where technology continues to support and enhance learning. Okay, I think that's all for me, ma'am. Thank you.
Mbak. Mbak Wanda, this one. Oh, not this. Mana punya Mbak Wanda? Sebentar. Saya beri token dulu ya. Saya lupa tadi mau memberi token. Sebentar. Let me give you the token first, can I? Yeah. So this is second session. Yes. I'm right away after giving Mbak Wanda's paper feedback, I'm leaving. I have 2 meetings ya ini sama-sama nih. Saya tutup dulu, ya. Mbak Wanda, kalau Zoom sama Google Classroom itu kan everybody ya use it ya kan? So in your view, what is it about your context that makes it different or unique to others? So I'm just trying to help you find an idea that can stand your paper out. Yeah. Among other papers talking about Zoom and Google Classroom. And because we know that we've passed over the use of online learning, the requirement of online learning during COVID. So we are at post-COVID era. And with the post-COVID, I think the emphasis is not simply on the delivery, it's about engagement. The new word in the blog is now about engagement. In post-COVID era, is everybody is struggling with having the materials delivered. It's about delivery. We were not able to think about engagement because people were, scared about their safety. So what's important was delivery. Instruction can be delivered and then can be sustained. So the sustenance of education, what was important. But these days, post-COVID the ideas about learning online is about engagement, about creativity and being critical thinking, and also leveraging the use of technology in teaching and learning, hopefully to improve achievement. You want to highlight this, Mbak Wanda. Jadi kalau misalnya we understand that the problems students in Indonesia maybe is on misalnya ya lack of infrastructure, the device, and so on and so on. I think you want to make sure that while students struggled with having to access Google Classroom atau Zoom misalnya, they also find something, like silver lining in the dark cloud. So what do you think you have here? Soalnya Mbak Wanda ngomongin COVID soalnya pra and post COVID, jadinya kan you need to understand the ideas dulu karena research landscape-nya kalau post COVID udah tidak kayak dulu ya. Misalnya di sini kan apakah it teaches about resilience misalnya. My best practice while using Zoom and Google during COVID was I found students' resilience were observed from their struggle with having to find connection, having to do this and to do that simply to be able to join Zoom. Maksudnya kayak gitu loh. What do you reflect in order that you can of course tentang pembelajarannya nggak apa-apa sih. Misalnya ada tetap bisa belajar bahasa Inggris. Mungkin apakah belajar bahasa Inggrisnya jadi maksimal atau enggak. Kan di sini Mbak Wanda, saya nggak tahu ya findingnya ya. Soalnya biasanya teman-teman sampai finding tuh boleh loh ya ditunjukin walaupun misalnya ini kan baru introduction map. Enggak juga, you can show us all of your paper if you want. You don't have to go step by step. Jadi kalau Bella kan hanya target minimalnya paling enggak yang belum dari intro ya. Tapi misalnya by this time you have reached finding, why not? Ya. Nah, ini yang mungkin ini saya ini ngawang-ngawang kalau buat saya Mbak Wanda ya. I didn't see kalau prosesnya itu ada pada refleksinya ada pada Mbak Wandanya yang misalnya saya harus menyiapkan, harus ini itu kan being honest ya, everybody did that gitu loh. Nanti there is nothing particular about your practice ya kan. Kita kan mau highlighting kenapa our practice tidak hanya best, tapi bestnya itu karena it worked in our context despite. Nah ini kata-kata despite, regardless of challenges misalnya atau difficulties, kita mampu tadi tetap bertahan, survive, bahkan bisa mungkin malah sukses gitu kan intinya. Nah, how you presented this aspect gitu yang ingin saya tahu. Misalnya classroom routines per night. Oh, itu kan jelas. Ini kan your job. Ini people tidak akan appreciate for saying something that we have to do as part of our job. If you sworn as a teacher, when I was sworn as a docent, is my job to do tridharma misalnya. Misalnya kalau harus ini, jangan di situ kalau menurut saya yang direfleksikan Mbak Wanda harus sesuatu dengan misalnya during Zoom apa yang jadi misalnya student struggling with menyalakan Zoom-nya, melibatkan it's a collective effort. Karena untuk nyalain Zoom-nya bapaknya laptop, ibunya nyalain wifi, terus ininya ngapain. Misalnya kayak gitu tuh lah, Pak. Yang jadi aspek apa yang mau ditonjolkan? Karena cerita kita tuh sama. Cerita kita tuh sama during COVID. Semuanya sama. Guru harus online, harus gini gitu. Tapi mungkin yang membeda adalah respon kita. Atau tadi konteks yang kita hadapi yang berbeda-beda. Misalnya yang di situ, ya Allah, anakku pas di telepon, kok nggak masuk Zoom? Saya lagi jualan, Bu. Nah, kayak gitu. Karena ibu guru ngertinya nggak ada kelas gitu. Nah, orang tua saya ngertinya nggak ada misalnya. Nah, ini challenges that you want to share and how you overcome it. Misalnya. Itu yang Zoom ya. Kalau yang Google Classroom, I didn't see di sini Google Classroom itu students assignment submission progress, terus fleksibel ini oke. Terus apa? So what dengan itu? Maksudnya why students ini students can access quality education without social or technological barriers. Nah, misalnya Mbak mau highlight ini. Nah, apakah betul without social or technological barriers? Ya, that's what I wondered ya. Kalau iya nanti mungkin findingnya seperti apa ya? Bu Ella belum begitu membayangkan, belum bisa membayangkan. Nah, many teachers integrated combine the strengths of online and face-to-face, online and face-to-face. Jadi ini maksudnya Zoom itu sebagai face-to-face gitu ya, online sebagai Google-nya. Tapi kan padahal berbeda. Kan kalau kita mengklasifikasikan Zoom dan Google itu kan pada synchronous atau asynchronous. Jadi tadi landscape-nya harus diambil dari synchronous itu apa, asynchronous itu apa. Karena kan sebetulnya sama-sama online, tapi synchronous atau asynchronous. Ayo Mbak Wanda, jadi terms-nya harus dipilih yang pas. Gitu ya.
Yes, ma'am.
Tanya refleksinya tidak masalah. I think everybody has the choice to reflect on any aspect of their teaching, but it's usually up to them in choosing what aspects that you think worth highlighting. And tadi saya bisa berdaya jual, menarik editor karena this is different gitu. Saya, oh this is particular gitu. Oh iya ya, ada aspek emosi. Oh iya ya, bahwa ini ternyata socially affected misalnya. Nah, this is what you want to do. Or maybe if you want to highlight problems in using the Google Classroom with the features and how you cope with that, mungkin boleh saja ya, but I didn't know. I couldn't predict what it would look like because belum sampai sini kan. Coba ini utilizing Zoom, literature review. Zoom bisa jadi literature review, right? So this could be an idea that you can develop ini. Coba yang dibilang Purnawarman ini ya. Karena kalau hanya paper around COVID banyak banget saya itu. Saya dulu disertasinya pas COVID soalnya. Oh ini ya, Mbak ini ya. Ini pakai ini modul artikelnya.
Yes, ma'am.
Nah, coba ini di Bella seperti apa yang dimaui biar saya tahu ya. Oke, maksudnya seperti apa yang akan diarahkan. Tapi kalau Bu Ella, Mbak Wanda, feedback mainly is semuanya sama tentang Google Classroom sama Zoom, tapi you need to find an aspect that worth highlighting, that are not only common to everyone, but also particular to the context of your teaching. Mungkin your students, challenges that they may be different from other contexts. Nah, that's your power. So, kenapa paper itu yang mungkin sekedar sekilas seperti kok cuman gitu aja? Itu karena pasti konteksnya spesifik. Jadi, is your job to highlight the context. What makes the context your context specific and highlight it that one by saying maybe the problems the students have to overcome. With connections is a collective effort from parents, school, and teachers to make sure that the instruction kept going. Yeah, I think that's resilience. Ya, the idea about COVID itu dulu resilience. Kalau yang post-COVID itu idenya about engagement. Ya, about engagement, empowerment. Jadi kata sifatnya udah agak beda kalau kita baca riset-riset yang di area COVID dan after COVID. Ya, karena memang landscape-nya udah agak beda. Nah, ya, jadi mungkin itu digali lagi. I think you have all the references that you need to explore that more. Okay? Everyone, I need to
Thank you,
go.
ma'am.
Yes, thank you. I need to go and keep going doing the revisions. We have 14, we are now at 14, yeah, week 14. Yes. So we have 2 more to go, yeah. 2 more to go. Do you think the 2 rounds we could have everybody showing the findings and discussion already? Ya, jadi tidak perlu dari intronya saja semuanya. And make sure that you have chosen the target journalnya. Gitu ya. Alright. Thank you everyone for joining our Zoom and good day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye
ma'am.
everyone.